Hey, I'm Rosie G, your host here on PlayMyMusic.fm, where we unleash the unknown, unsigned, and unheard. Welcome to part 2 of my interview with the fabulous and legendary Michael Alago. 2004,
Okay, we're starting again.
you decided I'm done.
Yes.
And then you went into photography. Was photography a hobby or just another creative outlet that you needed to express yourself by?
Well, it's exactly what you said. It was a creative outlet, and I wanted to express myself. I always loved photographs. When I made money, I bought black and white photography, and I just decided, you know what, I'm going to be a photographer. So, people always ask, well, do you take pictures of rock and roll bands? No, I don't. I take pictures of men who are scarred and tattooed, and that was my passion, taking pictures of men.
So rumor has it that you want to return to the music business. Is that true?
I never lost my passion for making records. I definitely took a 12-year break. I got photography books put out by a company in Berlin called Bruno Gemunder. But when I did leave the record companies in 2004, in 2009 and 2010, I worked with Cyndi Lauper. I executive produced A&R, 2 of her albums, a dance record called Bring You to the Brink, and a classic record called Memphis Blues. We made that in 2010. I haven't done much since then, but in 2016, my friend John Joseph has a band called the Cro-Mags. He has a newer band called Blood Clot, and I got his band signed to Metal Blade Records, and they have a record coming out in July. So I'm kind of all over the place. My heart is always in music. I still go out and see young bands.
Great.
Unlike other people who think watching stuff on YouTube is the way to go. I watch YouTube if I want to see something that happened in the 50s or the 60s. If I want to know what's going on now, I got to go see these people up close, live, and personal.
So what are your thoughts about music and the music business today?
Well, obviously, as we know, the music business is a very different business. I think at some point in time, the music business forgot to pay attention that the internet was really going to take over. So they still had these old templates of how to sell and market records that weren't working anymore. So you know what wound up happening? Record companies don't sell records like they used to. People get all their information from social media, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. Well, you know what? We did this to ourselves, and that is the way of the world. For me, it's a bit cold and indifferent. I still have to come and see you and look at you in the eye and talk to you and feel you and make sure you're real and you have something to say. I'm old school in that regard, and I will forever be that way because that's how I wound up working with all the fabulous artists that I worked with.
And the amazing history.
I went to see them live and in person to make sure they were somebody, and they were always somebody. Wonderful.
So how do you feel about free music online and the inability for artists to make money nowadays?
Yeah. Well, if you're the artist and you choose to give away your music, right on. But, you hear all this other stuff about royalties and are the Spotifys and all the online music channels these days paying the artists. I don't really know much about that, except, you hear about it all the time, that they still get pennies on the dollar. And, historically, the artist is always the last one to get paid.
That is true.
And it still exists. But I can't do any better than that in answering that question, unfortunately.
Your movie is about to be released here in New York on June 9th.
Yes.
Which I believe is sold out.
It is, Friday, June 9th. It's a documentary.
It's a documentary on your life.
Yes.
And I love, love, love the title. Who the fuck is that guy? The Fabulous Journey of Michael Alago. Who came up with that title?
Oh, that's a weird one. I think Drew Stone, our director, did.
Okay.
Because he had this line at the beginning of the film, and he says, I saw this guy out every night. He was everywhere. And I said, who the fuck is that guy? And after we had that filmed, we talked about it. I said, Drew, that's the title of the movie. Who the fuck is that guy? It rolls off your tongue. It's funny, but I do want the tagline, The Fabulous Journey of Michael Alago, because fabulous is like my favorite word. And I just thought, who the fuck is that guy? Is so great, but it's incomplete. So the whole title is what we just said.
And that's also going to be released in LA in July.
Mm-hmm. The documentary comes out Friday, June 9th. It gets screened at the St. Mark's Theater, Theater 80. It's sold out. We have another screening at the Nighthawk Cinema in Brooklyn, Wednesday, July 19th.
And then
tickets haven't gone on sale yet.
Oh,
so
you have to go see it.
You must go see it. It's one showing. July 21st to the 27th, we have 7 showings of the documentary in Los Angeles, in Hollywood, at, I forget the name of the theater. Look at it on social media, where everybody goes these days. So we're excited. It's a long, hard road getting a truly independent film out there. But you work hard, the film is good, people take notice. Here we are.
Lastly, what information can you leave based on your success and experience in the music business that would help new artists move forward?
Oh, let me think. That's a tough one. Well, I think new artists, you always have to be true to yourself. Mm-hmm. If you feel like you're doing the right thing, you must stick to that. Because down the road, everybody's going to tell you, oh, that works, that doesn't work. If in your heart and soul, you know what you're doing is the right thing, keep on doing it. Because it will change on its own when you meet a producer, when you meet a record company, when you're in the studio. It all changes down the road. But I think honesty and truthfulness and being true to yourself is always the thing. And if you're anybody to begin with, if you really have what it takes, it's just going to happen.
Thank you so much for hanging out and talking with us today.
Thank you.
And I can't wait to see your documentary
Me
film.
too.
It's so exciting. And Mi Casa es Su Casa.
Yes, yes.
Anytime you want to come here on PlayMyMusic.fm, please feel free.
Awesome.
Thanks again for being with us.
Thank you very much.
Be sure to check your local listings in Brooklyn and in Manhattan for the documentary film, Who the Fuck Is That Guy? The Fabulous Journey of Michael Alago. I'm Rosie G for PlayMyMusic.fm. I'd like to thank our videographer, Askia, for filming today, our producers, Marjorie Clark and Stephen Boogie Brown. I'm Rosie G, your host on PlayMyMusic.fm, unleashing the unknown, unsigned, and unheard. We'll see you soon. Peace.